The following program is intended for entertainment only. No gambling takes place on this website. MichiganSportsAndEntertainment.com presents Motor City Moneyline with Jason Ryan.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of Motor City Moneyline. My name is Jason Ryan, and we're going to recap last week's inaugural pick season. Halfway through the NFL season, we figured we'd start a podcast, I figured I'd start a podcast, contribute to the Michigan Sports and Entertainment website on a weekly basis. So let's recap what happened last week. 33-15-1 against the spread. 33-15-1 against the spread. Trying to figure out where that push came from. I don't remember. I think it was a Friday night NBA game. Whatever. The over 223 Dallas-Toronto was a push, so we'll take it, whatever. You keep your money, your bookie keeps his money. But if you're looking at the college football games on Saturday, boy, oh boy, did you win some money. I had my best day on the college football games. 16-5 against the spread. That's where I hit everything. It seemed like I was hitting everything. Every time I was clicking off W's. Calling the bookie, making sure he had my cash because he was going to pay me at the end of the night. NFL, we did pretty doggone good in the NFL. 10-4 total, 14 games. Actually, I think we missed the Monday night game, but oh well. That game started out really bad. Ended in New England's favor, obviously, and they covered, so kind of lost out on that one. They did beat Buffalo by 14, which was my call. So what I think we should do is get on and start with the NFL.
NFL.
This isn't going to be released till Friday, but it's Thursday, so I'm going to go ahead and see what happens, and I'm going to call the Thursday night games to see if I'm right. I think this one's going to go over 45, and I think San Francisco is going to cover the 3-point favorite at home, and that's the only reason why they're favored is because they're at home. They get the home field advantage. You know, they're going against the Oakland Raiders, who, quite frankly, stink right now. Sunday's games. Cleveland's at home against Kansas City. I like the over in this game, 51.5. 51.5 is a good bet on this one. Detroit and Minnesota is visiting over there in the Bank of America Dome or whatever dome they play in over there. I forgot. That's an under. That's going to be an under. That play, under 49, I like that. Bovada has it at 49. I've seen it 48.5. I've also seen it as low as 47. But it's going to go under 49. Pittsburgh is visiting Baltimore, M&T Bank Stadium. I like Baltimore and the home favorite at 3. So Baltimore 3. Chicago's going up to the wild white north of Buffalo. Who knows, it might snow there this weekend. The weather's pretty crappy in the Midwest. There's a lot of rain, and a lot of it's pushing up towards New England. So we'll see what kind of weather it's going to look like for the East Coast games. But I like Buffalo plus 10. Now, plus 10. They've made some trades this week. I like the Buffalo and the points. That's what I said. Plus 10. Buffalo plus 10. This game will also go over 37.5. If the weather's crappy, stay away from the over. If the weather's crappy, stay away from the over. Next up is Washington hosting Atlanta. I like Atlanta and the points here. Atlanta's getting 1.5. Visiting underdogs. I say it. I'll repeat this quite a bit. Washington is the home favorite just because they're home, not because they're a better football team, but because they're home. I do like Atlanta in the 1.5. I think Matt Ryan's going to go in there and sling the ball around. Next up, Jets Miami, visiting down south in Miami. Jets plus 3. Sounds like a risky play. This could go either way. This is a kind of a pick'em game, but I like the Jets and the 3 points. Being the visiting underdog at down in Miami. Jets and 3. Tampa Bay visits Carolina. I don't know. If Fitz-Dog starts, Fitz-Magic, if he starts, I like Tampa Bay in the 6.5 they're getting in Carolina. If you got Jameis eating W's, Winston starting, I would lay off the game. As of right now, I don't know who's starting that game. I haven't really been privy to NFL news today or for the last couple of days, so I don't know if Jameis is starting Sunday or not. So, again, if he starts, if Jameis eating W's, Winston starts, lay off the game. If he doesn't start and Fitzmagic starts, I would take Tampa Bay in the 6.5. Denver hosts Houston up in the Mile High. That's a pick'em game for me. I like the under, though. Under 46 if you're desperate to play this game, if you're trying to scratch and get some money back if you lost last weekend. The under 46 is probably a good play. I'd say it is a good play. Mile High, Houston at Denver. Neither of the teams have really done a whole lot this year. So, again, that's a pick'em, or you could play the under 46. The Chargers go into Seattle. I like Seattle in the 1. I like Seattle to win this game, period. So Seattle's a safe play here. Home underdog, New Orleans hosts the L.A. Rams. This game's going to go under 59.5. And I also like, this is my double shot of the week, if you want to get cheesy and say that. My double shot of the week is take the home under New Orleans Saints, who's getting 1.5 at home, and the under 49. So again, New Orleans in the 1.5, home underdogs, and the under 59.5. Moving on to the Sunday night game. Green Bay is going into New England for the first time in a while. I don't know what the exact number is, but I think it's been a few years. So it's the first time. It's also the first time Brady and Rodgers have faced off in a while too. So I like the under in this game. I think it's going to be a defensive matchup. As we both know, both quarterbacks like to sling the rock all around the yard. But I think this game, weather permitting, I think this game is going to stay under 56.5, which is a lot of sites are calling it for right now. 56.5, so stay under on that game. And then finally, the Monday night game. Tennessee is going into Dallas, AT&T Stadium. I like Dallas in this game. They're going to cover the 6 points. There's a new addition to the Dallas Cowboys offense, Amari Cooper. I like what's going to happen there. I hope they key up some things in that offense to get Cooper involved. Hopefully he does play this week, with all that said. But either way, I still like the over 41 and the Dallas and 6. Dallas being favored, home favorites with the 6. So there's your NFL plays for the week. Let's go on and do NCAA.
Top 25 college football.
All right, here we go. NCAA football. Top 25 picks. Last weekend, we did pretty good. Needless to say, like I said at the top of the show, we did pretty good. 16-5 against the spread. You raked in some dough with these picks. Hopefully you're not missing out on this, and this is your first weekend. But just to let you know, 16-5 is a pretty doggone good record against the spread in college football, which is an unpredictable game. Most people, people make money because there's a lot of games. People make good money betting college football. If you're the gambling type, that's a pretty good way to earn some money, earn some money for the weekend, and maybe buy a couple cases of beer or whatever your beverage of choice is. But getting on with it and getting to the top 25 in no particular order, of course. I think I'm just going to go in the order that the games are going to be played in, so we can keep it simple. All right. Pitt going to number 25, Virginia. This game scares me. I'm taking the over 48. I'm also going to go with Pitt getting 7.5. I like Virginia, but I don't like them that much, and I think Pitt's going to play them a little tougher than what everybody's giving them credit for. So I'm going to take Pitt in the 7.5 and the over 48. So that's That's a bonus play there. The over 48 is a bonus play. Louisville's visiting number 2 Clemson. I like the under in this game. I'm sorry, not the under. I like Clemson, and I also like the 38.5. That is a lot of lumber to lay down, but they're playing Louisville, and Clemson is the number 2 ranked team in the country. They are going to destroy Louisville at home in Clemson's house. Nebraska's going to the Horseshoe against number 10 Ohio State. I like the under 73 in this. It's a Big Ten matchup. I think Ohio State is going to score a lot of points. Most of that 73, but it's going to stay under 73. That defense is going to stop Nebraska in its tracks. Number 19 Syracuse is going to Wake Forest. The under in this game is the easy play. These two match up, and history says that they don't score a lot of points. It's a defensive standoff. I know 19 is a decent rank for Syracuse, but I do like the under in this game. Number 20 Texas A&M University is going to Auburn. There's 2 plays on this game. I like Texas A&M and the 4. They are getting 4 going to Auburn, so I like this. I actually think Texas A&M is going to win this game. And the score will, and I believe the total is going to go over 48.5. So that's your play right there, over 48.5. And Texas A&M's getting 4 points. Anything more than that, I'd be a little leery. Number 24 Iowa State is going to Kansas. I like Iowa State in the 14.5 here. Also, another play on this one is the over 46. Moving on to the matchup of the week, in my opinion, is Georgia and Kentucky. Number 6 Georgia going to number 9 Kentucky. Kentucky's been playing on a high for the last 3 weeks, and I like the team. I don't like them to beat Georgia, but I do like them. Georgia's given 9.5. I think they cover that, and I think the game will go over 44. There's another double play for you. 13 West Virginia is going to number 17 Texas. This is a pick'em game. The only thing, if you're really desperate to bet this game, it's going to go over 58 points. They're going to sling that thing all over DKR. It should be a good game. That's a must-watch, too, and not just because I'm a Longhorn fan. Number 16 Iowa is going to Purdue in where the heck did they play at? Oh, Lafayette, yeah. That was a joke. I like Iowa getting 3 going to Purdue. Purdue's giving them 3 just because they're at home more than likely. You heard me say it in the NFL. Most teams get 3 points if they're hosting a game. So yeah, I like Iowa number 16 winning in Purdue, and I think they're gonna take that 3 and run with it right out of Lafayette. Number 14 Penn State against number 5 Michigan in the Big House. All right, this game's gonna go over 53. That's your side play. Penn State is getting 10.5 in this. Here's your bet. This is the bet of the week for the top 25. Take Penn State in the points at 10.5. I promise you that's a win. Take Penn State and the 10.5. That's going to be a tightly contested game. I don't know why Michigan's getting all them points or giving all those points. Mizzou at number 11, Florida. Florida is given 6.5, and they're going to win by more than 6.5, so there's your play on that one. Number 15, Utah is giving 7 points to Arizona State in their house, in Arizona State's house. Take Utah on the points. Number 4, Notre Dame at Northwestern. I take the 9.5 over here. Northwestern is getting 9.5. Take the 9.5. This is going to be a closer game than everyone's calling. Yes. You've heard that correctly. Number 4, Notre Dame is giving 9.5 to Northwestern. Take that 9.5 that Northwestern's getting and go to the window. All right. Next up on the list here, Louisiana Tech is going to Mississippi State, number 18 Mississippi State. I like Louisiana Tech on the 23.5 here, even though Mississippi State's a ranked team. They're playing decent. I don't like that number. 23.5 is a lot to haul. But if you don't trust that, then go ahead and play the over 48. All right. Number 1 Alabama against number 3 LSU. This game frightens me. It's also on the list that I don't like. These games could go either way. I'm going to go ahead and say, this is my play. Alabama's given up 14.5. They're going to win by 14.5. The game is also going to go over 54 points. I don't think LSU is going to be able to keep up with Alabama. It's a fluke that they're number 3. Don't ask why. I'll tell you if you really want to know. Hit me up on Twitter at Jason Ryan Radio. Number 7, Oklahoma is going to Texas Tech University in Lubbock. I like the over in this game, 76. Oklahoma's going to destroy Texas Tech. They're given 13.5. They're going to win by 13.5. They'll win by at least 3 touchdowns. Number 23, Fresno State at UNLV. The game's going to go under 60, but Fresno State will win by over 26. Take the 26 points and run to your bookie. Cal is going to number 8, Washington State. I like the over in this game at 50. I also like Cal and the 10 that Washington's given them. So take Cal in the 10. That might be one of my losses this week in college football. But for some reason, I like Cal covering that 10 points. So take the 50, the over 50, and Cal plus 10. In Michigan games that I didn't read off earlier, Michigan State's at Maryland. I take Michigan 3 with the 3. They're favored by 3 in that one. Take the 3 points. Michigan State's going to win that. Central Michigan and Eastern Michigan, there might be some kind of rivalry there that I don't know about. This might be a tightly contested game for all I know, but I am reading the stats and the way that I pick these games. Eastern Michigan covers the 13.5 that I saw on Bovada. So take Eastern Michigan and the 13.5. And that rounds off the NCAA Top 25. With that said, that's the end of the program. I wanted to just do college football and NFL football this week because I need to fine-tune the way that I pick the NBA and NHL games. Bear with me on that. I'm working on it. It was a process. I did take a bath on those games last week. Even though I had a winning record in those sports, it's hard to fine-tune exactly how you pick those games based on, because they're played so frequently. It's kind of hard to really determine a clear winner or a clear loser in those games, simply because lineups change so frequently and guys start that don't normally start. But I'm working on it. I'm working on the metrics on it. I'm the analysis portion of it. I'm working on. I've been tinkering with it. So bear with me. Those plays will come out. I might sprinkle a few of them in next week to see how my analysis goes and how my method's working. So enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the sports. I'm out.